back at it again with the Tenacious 10. How y'all doing? Welcome. Glad to have you. I need all my cognac drinkers to the front, please. I get this question all the time working at Total Wine. What's VS? What's VSOP? What kind of cognac do I get? It's a long-winded question that people ask me and they never realize that it's going to be kind of a long-winded answer. So I wanted to do a quick video on the breakdown of what kind of cognac you are drinking. First of all, did you know that cognac is actually not the original liquor it started out as? So, cognac is actually brandy. Now, what is brandy? Brandy is a liquor that is made from distilling white wine. Now, from brandy is where you get cognac. Brandy is essentially an umbrella because there are a lot of different things that are actually underneath brandy. Besides cognac, there's Armagnac, there is Pisco, there is Grappa. There are a lot of different things that you can make brandy into. Cognac just happens to be one of them, and it happens to be probably the most popular out of everything that you can make from brandy. Most people also don't know that the cognac season is actually from October to March, which is why during like the summer months it's harder to find some of your favorite cognacs. For example, my favorite cognac is Douce. It is so hard to find Douce like the July to August area because it's not the season. So they're kind of just pumping out whatever they have left from the previous season until the new season starts, where they can start to send out a lot more, which is why during like Christmas time you can get all your favorite cognacs because you're in the middle of the season, so they have a lot to offer. So for a cognac to basically be considered a cognac, it has to be aged for 2 years, it has to be in a copper pot still, and it has to be done in French Limousin oak. Now, the reason why all cognacs really don't taste the same is because they all have little things that they do differently to make their cognac stand out. It also has to be made in France because cognac is in France. So let's get into the nitty-gritty details, because again, this is the question I get asked. You know, what's a VS, what's a VSOP, all of that good stuff. So let me break it down for you. Starting off with your VS. VS is going to be the bottom of the barrel when it comes to your cognacs. VS means very special, and it means that the cognac that you're purchasing with VS on it has been aged for a maximum of 2 years, which means that it hasn't been sitting in the barrel long. It's not gonna have a lot of flavor. It's not aged long. It is very boring cognac. Then you got your VSOP. VSOP means very superior old pale. That means that the maximum time that it's been in a barrel or been aged is going to be 4 years. That's going to be a step up in quality. That's going to be a step up in price. Usually not too much depending on what brand you're buying from, but it's not too bad. Then from there you have Napoleon. Apparently Napoleon is like a new term they've added to kind of start to separate more and more by the aging years, but Napoleon means that the cognac in the bottle is going to be no older than 6 years. This is where you're starting to get into like your good cognacs, your reserve, things like that. From Napoleon, you have XO, which means extra old. That means no older than 10 years. Those are your sipping cognacs. That's that good shit. That's that good, okay? Those are the ones you really are gonna have to pay a pretty penny to get, but they're definitely worth it. They're not something that you're gonna be mixing. They're something you're just gonna be putting on a little piece of ice or adding a couple splashes of water, sipping it, all right? It's fire. Then from there, you start kind of getting into things that you probably don't see that often, or you see it and it's $600 or more. You got your XXO, which is extra old, and that's 14-year-old cognac. And then they also have this new thing called Hors d'Age, and that means it's 10 years or older. Some companies don't really want to brag about how long they've had their cognacs in a barrel. Some companies kind of mix it. They'll do a 10-year, and if the 10-year wasn't enough or wasn't that great, they'll add a 12 or a 14. So they can't necessarily display or break down how specific the year is. So they'll put an Hors d'Age on it, and it'll be 10 years or more. So you'll know that it's a decent cognac. There are 4 big cognac houses. That's going to be Hennessy, Remy Martin, Cavassier, and Martell. Now, to be honest, there are very subtle differences in what they all taste like. The only one that's truly different is going to be the Remy Martin, because Remy Martin does their own process of distillation and aging. So what they do differently is the Lees method. And basically lees are going to be like the substances that are kind of left at the bottom of the barrel. And what Remy Martin does, they take that sediment and they add it back into their cognac, and it gives it a more robust, more fruity, more big flavor that a lot of people like that they're not going to get in like your Martell or your Hennessy, because all of those companies just throw that crap away. And that's also why Remy Martin has that dark bottle, because they don't want it to spoil, because they do have that sediment. Now, I personally do not like Remy Martin. I don't like that flavor. It almost tastes like musk. I don't like it. It's just not for me. I'm more of a Douce fan. And for anybody that's about to talk about Douce has been aged, I think 4 years. So it is going to be a VSOP quality. It's a little smoother. It is a little fruitier. It's a little bit more palatable to me versus like Hennessy. I just can't do it. But that's why Remy Martin is going to be a little bit different than all the other styles. Martell is a little bit more expensive because they don't make as much, so it's a little bit more higher quality. Hennessy actually produces about 40% of the cognac that people drink, so that means that the other 60% is going to be your Martell, your Remy Martin, your Courvoisier, and they're splitting that 60% between the three of them. And you're going to be adding in like your off-brands, like at Total Wine they sell Fusini. It's actually really good if you haven't tried it. Fusini and Douce, they're also going to be in that 60%. Hennessy is really running amok because y'all are stuck on it. So hopefully all of that kind of makes sense to you. If you have any questions, of course, drop it in the comments. But I definitely would recommend trying some different things. Like I said, Total Wine sells Fusini. If you want something that's similar to Hennessy with a little bit more palatable flavor, I definitely would recommend it. Douce is amazing. If you haven't had it, definitely try it. I'm gonna be honest, I started drinking it because Megan Thee Stallion told me to drink it, and when Megan Thee Stallion tells me to drink something, I'm gonna drink it. And I actually ended up liking it because, like I said, it's nice and fruity. It has a really good flavor. It coats my mouth. It gets me where I need to go. 40% alcohol. I mean, you can't beat that. So I would recommend trying some more cognacs if you're interested. But if you have any questions or if you have any recommendations for me to try, definitely drop something in the comments. Make sure you like, subscribe, so that you be notified when I do new videos. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at Chef Tanae. Make sure you follow me on TikTok at Tenacious Fork. And reach out to me if you have any questions. I always appreciate the love, and thanks for coming. I'll see you next Wednesday for another episode of Tenacious 10. Peace. Keep drinking.